Hey everyone, I'm Paul Skidmore. I'm an author and filmmaker in Tennessee, and I created an AI virtual executive assistant. Her name is Beatrice, and she's helped me plan my days, get things done, lift my mindset, and I would love for her to help you do those things as well. So, yesterday I live streamed and I showed how to install and get started. There is a 5-day sort of initiation week to help you understand what the system is and how it works. And so today we're going to do day two. And day two is really going to give you an idea of what the Beatrice system is. Day one is a lot of setup kind of stuff. Day two, you're actually going to go through the system, sort of an abbreviated version of it, but it'll give you an idea of sort of what it's going to feel like. So let's jump right in. So we're going to go to our ChatGPT project. So I'm going to pull that up here. All right. And this is the end of our chat from yesterday. So we're going to reread these instructions. By the way, if you hear that awful noise, it's my friend's dog is chewing on a bone on the futon behind me. So it says, okay, on day two, we're going to switch to the next day's instructions. Just make sure, okay, make sure my audio is on. We're going to switch to the day two instructions using the steps that are listed here. I know it's probably small on the screen to read, so I'll read it out loud for you. So we're going to open the ChatGPT project settings, and we're going to replace with project instructions, day two, daily rhythm. So let's just go ahead and do that. So we're going to go back out to our project, and there we see our one chat that we have there. Sources is about files and things that we're going to upload. We'll need to do that in a minute. I'm going to go to this three-dot menu here, and it says project settings. And in there, I have the ability to change the instructions, which is this tiny little box here. You can actually make it a little bigger by pulling that down. But this is where all the instructions are. And these are the instructions just for day one. We don't need those anymore. We've already done day one. So we're going to get the day two instructions. So we're going to go to this Finder window, quite possibly, perhaps. There we go. And let's see if, looks like I need to reset this just real quick. Properties, window capture, window, Finder, start here. Okay, there we go. All right. So I'll get that up there for you. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I've got a Finder window. Hopefully my video is not freaking out too much. I think my buddy Noah is logged in the background and he's running some heavy VFX stuff, so that might affect our live stream. We'll see. Okay, so this is the folder where I've downloaded the Beatrice system. So when you download it, it'll look like this. You'll have the 93-page PDF. You will have the Start Here PDF, which is one page, tells you how to get started. That's the thing that we did yesterday. The Start Here folder that has the files that we need from yesterday. And then in the source pack, you've got folders full of all kinds of other stuff. So you'll see one of the folders in here is called Initiation Week Project Instructions. Actually, I don't guess you can see that, but let me shorten this up so you can see what we're doing here. Ooh. I don't know if I'll be able to do this while he's doing all that stuff in the background. There we go. Okay, so in the source pack is the collection of files and everything that you'll need to run the system. There's several folders, and again, one of the folders in there is called Initiation Week Project Instructions, and there it has day one, which you've already done, and now we're going to do day two. All of these files are markdown files. They're just text files. So even though they're .md, they're really just text files. And so you can open them if you're on Windows, you can open them in Notepad. If you're on a Mac like I am, you can open them in TextEdit. In fact, you might even be able to quick look it. You can't see the quick look, but quick look just popped it open. Quick look is not staying open for some reason. So that has something to do with Noah may be currently on the computer in the background. All right, so we're going to open with TextEdit. And you won't see it open, but here it is open. I'm just going to click in there, hit Command-A to select all, Command-C to copy, and then I will close that. And now we don't need the downloads folder anymore. So now we're back in our instructions here. We're going to click anywhere in the instructions there. We're going to hit Command A, and we're going to delete the day 1 stuff. Don't need it anymore. We're going to hit Command V, and that's going to paste in the day 2 instructions. So now we're ready for day 2. Almost ready. There's some more instructions to follow. So we'll go ahead and save that. Okay, that's saved. Let's go back to our chat here and look at what else is there. Okay, in sources, remove home base setup and assistant personality template MD. So it's asking us to remove some files from sources, and it's going to ask us to add some files in sources as well. So you can keep going in and out of the chat if you want. Personally, what I like to do is I just like to open the project in a new tab. And just open my sidebar here. We'll go to our Beatrice project that we made here. Go to project. There we go. Close the sidebar. So this way now I can just go back and forth between these tabs without having to constantly be going back and forth. Okay, so we're going to let's just read all these instructions real quick. We're going to remove home base setup and assistant personality template. We're going to add some other things, and then the last thing it says here is we're going to leave the assistant personality MD that we made today. So this first one, assistant personality, that's the one that we made yesterday. We're going to leave that in there because we're going to need that for the rest of the week. And then these two we're going to delete. This 3-dot menu over here, the only option is remove, and so we'll just remove them. If you're using something besides ChatGPT, for instance, Claude, the way you get files in and out is a little different, but you're basically just going to do the same process no matter what LLM platform you're using. Okay, so now we've left what needs to be left. We've taken out what needs to be taken out. And now we need to, oh yeah, I just got a text from Noah that he's done working. So that was definitely him in the background. So now we need to add the things that it wants us to add. I didn't need to do that. I need to go back here. All right, so we're going to add morning vision light, daily work visioning light, work block opening light, and close out the day light. Oh, and midday reset light. So where are those? Where do we find those? They're going to go in sources. We're going to go to add sources. We're going to go to upload, and that's going to take us to, let's make sure we get, we're going to go into the source pack because that's where all the files are that we need for the system. And that is definitely something that I need to make more clear. Another reason I'm doing this is because I want to see sort of what all the problems are so I can add to it. So make clear where files are in end of day instructions. Okay. So here are the light modules. There's a whole folder called light modules, and look at there. There's every single light module that we need to put in. The only one it didn't ask for is this Friday weekly review. So I'm going to deselect that one. But the rest of these are going to go in. So you can see there, I've got all those selected, all these in blue. The one that I haven't selected there, that's that Friday review. We're going to do that on Friday. So we'll leave that until then. So I'll go ahead and just upload those. And they're text files, so they're quick to upload. And there they are. They're all done. So we'll go back here. So that's step 1 and 2 out of the way. Step 3 says start a new chat and say, good morning. We'll run a condensed version of the full daily rhythm for the first time. Don't worry about getting it perfect. You showed up today. That's the whole point. Thank you for a good work day. Go in peace. Okay. So that was yesterday's chat. I'll go ahead and close this other tab. We'll go back to our project here, and we're going to follow the instructions by starting a new chat and just saying good morning. When we say good morning, Beatrice begins right away. Good morning, Skidmore. She remembers my name. Welcome back. Today you're going to experience the full daily rhythm, but in an abbreviated capacity. I'll explain each module briefly as I go. We will keep it simple while still getting things done. Before we begin, please make sure this chat is set to 5.5 thinking and has the Notion app connected. Also, you'll need the light modules markdown files uploaded to your project sources. I see the light module files here, including the morning vision light flow, which begins with gratitude and then moves one prompt at a time. Are you ready to begin? So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we have our Notion app connected. So we'll pick that from our apps there because it's going to read from yesterday's stuff and it's going to write new things today. So we want to make sure that that is connected. We want to make sure that we're on thinking, and this here says that we are thinking, and we're currently on thinking standard. Probably works better with extended. Heavy might be too much. Pro, definitely don't use pro. You don't need Pro for this. Pro is for doing like deep research on stuff. But for this initiation week, thinking standard should be enough. I like to use extended, sometimes heavy, if I'm doing heavy planning, because she does think a little better. She does produce a little more thorough result. Does take a little more into consideration, but thinking standard should be fine. Okay, are you ready to begin? I think we're ready to begin, so let's say yes. She's thinking. So now what she's doing is she's reading the module, she's pulling it into context, and she's going to produce her first output, which should appear on the screen right now. Every day you'll begin a new chat by saying good morning or whatever greeting suits you. I'll respond by immediately running the morning vision. By the way, so when I run Beatrice and I say good morning, she goes right into it. There's no introduction. There's no whatever. She just says, welcome, Skidmore. Welcome back to the person that you're becoming. Name 3 things that you're grateful for, because that's the first question in the morning vision module. All right, so we begin by running morning vision. Morning vision is a series of mindset prompts just to get you in a good frame of mind for the day. These prompts should help you think about the person you're trying to become, the life you hope to have, and the work you want to get done. I can't make promises about the outcomes, but I can tell you if you approach life with a system, you're more likely to accomplish the things you set out to do. And if you are consistent with an efficient system while maintaining a positive attitude and an optimistic outlook, the sky's the limit. We'll just run a light version of it today. So if you're ready to begin, we'll get underway. So this day 2, it's going to run a light version of everything, but it's going to give you these explanations before everything. Day 4, we're going to run the same light version, but it's not going to give the explanations. It's going to back away a little bit so that you can actually spend more time doing work. So we're ready, so we're going to get underway. So I'm going to say, I'm ready. And this is sort of how she starts with me every morning. A new day is here, Skidmore. Let's begin simply. Welcome back to the man you're becoming, a faithful creator, a clear-eyed storyteller, and someone learning to order the day instead of being dragged around by it. Name 3 things you're grateful for this morning. Well, my mother had a successful surgery this morning, so thankful for that. She's doing well. Just talked to her on the phone. My friend Abby is testing out Beatrice, the Beatrice System on Claude and Asana. So we'll see how that goes. And I got to spend time with my friends Kevin and Aaron this morning at Starbucks. When you're naming things that you're grateful for, they don't have to be the things that you're most grateful for. Just first 3 things off the top of your head. The whole point of this is just to start the day with some gratitude. That's a good trio. Relief, momentum, and friendship. A mother safely through surgery is no small mercy. Next prompt. Why did you wake up happy this morning? By the way, this one's aspirational, not literal. Even if today started rough, imagine you woke up supremely happy. What might have caused it? In other words, what do you think it would take to wake up happy? Try to answer in habits rather than outcomes. You can't always command an outcome, but you can build the habits that make a meaningful life more likely. So you're going to get asked this question every day. Why did you wake up happy this morning? And it's never, hey, you woke up happy. Why was that? The question is always, if you had woken up supremely happy, what would be all the reasons? Because what you're doing is you're starting to construct in your mind, okay, what are the things that I want to put together with my life that would just really make me happy? So my typical answer to this is something like, I like to help other people trust and follow Jesus. I ate well, moved well, like exercise, worked well, and slept well yesterday. All those things are important. I am financially thriving and generous. I want to be generous with our thriving. I'd like to have a wife and family someday. So we'll say loving and loyal wife by my side. Family full of love, something like that. My creative work is changing the world for the good and paying my bills. All right. So there's some outcome kind of stuff in there, but you also see there's some systematic stuff. For instance, eating well, I can do that right now. Moving well, exercise, I can incorporate that into my life right now. Working well, I can do that every day, pretty much, or every work day. Sleeping well, that's something that I want to try and protect every day. I need to be getting to bed soon, actually. Financially thriving, I'm not currently financially thriving, but financially thriving and generous, well, I can be generous even if I'm not thriving. So I'm going to go ahead and practice the generous part. So as you start to sort of craft what it would take to sort of make you have, the life you've always dreamed of, you'll start to see, hey, some of this I'm already doing, or some of this I can do right now. Why am I waiting on something else to happen before I do this? I don't have to wait to have money to be generous, that sort of thing, right? And so as you craft this every day, it'll change and it'll change shape over time. But as you sort of find your answer to this, you'll see that there are pieces here that you can start to build in your life. And then eventually you'll want to work towards that. And as you do this every day, you'll start to see opportunities to be generous. You'll start to see opportunities to work well. You'll start to see opportunities. You'll make better choices when getting your food, so you'll eat well. Things like that, right? So this is all about sort of mindset and really sort of slowly changing that shape over time. It's not going to happen overnight. So this is a good sample answer. We'll go ahead and send that answer and see what she says. That's a beautiful picture of the life you're aiming toward: faithfulness, health, friendship, provision, love, and creative work that actually heals something in the world. Next prompt, ask yourself, who am I becoming? This is a similar kind of question, but now it's more about sort of personal identity rather than sort of the life that is around me. So who am I becoming? Something that I've really been thinking about a lot lately is becoming a person of provision. Like I said, I'd like to have a wife and family, but I need to be able to provide for them. I need to be able to provide well for myself to be that financially thriving person, right? So I'm just going to say a man of provision. We'll leave it at that and see what she says about that. A man of provision that's clear and weighty in a good way, not merely a man who pays bills, but a man whose life becomes sturdy enough to bless others. What one small thing will you do today to become this person? I will share the Beatrice System via live stream, which is what I'm doing now. So point of this question is, if today was a total disaster and you only got one thing done instead of the 8 or 10 or 12 things that you want to get done, if you only got one thing done, what's the main thing? What's the big thing to sort of keep in focus today? And for me, it's doing this. That's why even though I really would like to be going to bed right now, I'm doing this instead. Also, I just want to check because this says I'm not streaming, which is not correct. There we go. Oh, very nice. Okay. All right. Good. That is a provision-shaped action. You're not just building something in private, you're putting it where it can help someone. Next, where would you like to pause? Oh, would you like to pause for a moment to pray about the day's work? You may not want to do that. You may not be a person of faith. You may not care anything about the faith element of this. That's something that is important to me. It's something that I built into my system. I started to strip it out and make it real generic, and then I thought, there's probably other people like me that would like to be encouraged in that way. You can fine tune all that. You can remove all those instructions from the modules yourself. There'll be an opportunity where you can sort of deal with some of those things. I think that was one of the questions in the assistant personality profile yesterday, was about some of the faith-based language. But I want to keep it in. I want to do it. So I would like to pray about the day's work. So I'm just going to say yes. Take one deep breath. Use this prayer as a starting point. You can pray it quietly to yourself or write it in a prayer journal. And then she's given me a prayer here for me to pray on my own. She's not praying for me, but she's providing a written prayer. That makes some people uncomfortable, and I understand that. But, the Psalms, the book of Psalms, there are lots of prayers in there. Paul writes prayers into his letters. Jesus tells us how to pray and tells us the words to say. Many churches go by what they call the Book of Common Prayer, which is just a book that has lots of prayers and liturgies and things in it. I was looking at a book earlier today that was called, I think it's called Everyday Liturgies. And it's got some interesting little liturgies in there for different things, for the first cup of coffee in the morning, or for dating and courtship, or for the morning of a medical procedure. So it's a really interesting little book, and I was reading through some of those prayers today and praying them. I didn't write them, but when I read them, I can still make them my own, and that's what we're doing here. So I've done this earlier today already. I don't need to do that in front of you here, so I'll just say done. And I do have a journal in my Notion where I keep stuff, and the specific like Notion API that I use with my OpenClaw system, because I've moved my Beatrice over to OpenClaw, that discernment journal is not included in the access to the API, so that way I can kind of keep it private. Nothing like super secret in there, but she doesn't need to know all my personal stuff. Okay, good. Now pause for 10 seconds in silence, just a small clearing of the room inside you. When you're ready, say done. Let's just pretend that we've done that. Now complete this prayer in your own words. Lord, today I sent you inviting me to blank. So again, this is for people of faith, so that you're not just engaging in work and deciding the work that you want to do, but you spend some time remembering that you're connected to something larger, and that if you believe Ephesians 2:10, then you believe that God has prepared good works in advance for you to live your life doing. And so this is the time for you to sort of connect with that idea. And so we won't come up, sometimes I will, if it's a short answer, I'll copy it and I'll paste it in here. That way she'll have some context of sort of where my head's at today or whatever. But today we'll just say done. Good, we'll carry that privately and keep moving. Next mindset prompt. If someone asks today, what did you get done today? What do you hope to say? Well, I hope to say live streamed day 2 of the Beatrice System. And I have a pretty sneaking suspicion that I'll be able to say that I did that. That's the sentence for tonight. I live streamed day 2 of the Beatrice System. Next prompt. What obstacles may arise today? Short day, nearly out of time, and should be headed to bed soon, but still work to do. And also this dog. That's honest, and that may shape the whole plan. Today may need to be less a full day and more faithful landing strip. Do the one meaningful thing, then protect sleep. Next prompt. By the way, sometimes I will say things like that, and she'll just like abandon the module and be like, "Oh, well, let's take care of you." It's like, no, I want to go through the module. So sometimes you have to kind of redirect her. I can give the prompts, you can give your inputs, but at the end of the day, what ChatGPT is doing or Claude or whatever you're using, who knows what's going on there? The people who make it don't even know half the stuff that's going on inside the model there, right? That's honest, and that may shape the whole plan. Next prompt. How's your energy level right now? You can rate it 1 to 10 or give a brief explanation. Oh, I'm probably about a 6.5. 6.5 is usable, especially for a short day. We'll aim for a clean momentum, not heroics. Final morning vision prompt. Have you done your morning reading and prayer yet? And I did some of that earlier today, so I'll just say yes. If I said no, what she would do is she would make that the first work block of the day, because I've told her I want to do that first before anything else. You may not want to do that first thing in the day. You can change that in your modules once you have them in your possession. It's really easy to configure this to work the way you want it to work, and you'll learn how to do that throughout this initiation week. Okay, morning vision is complete. Hopefully your mindset is elevated. You're at a better vantage point to see your priorities clearly for today's work. After morning vision, we move immediately into daily work visioning. So morning vision is about elevating mindset. Daily work visioning. This module takes some answers from morning vision, gathers some information about the work you intend to move forward today, and creates an itinerary for your entire day. You can limit it to your work day, or you can have it plan all the way to bedtime if you want. I have it planned my whole day, my meals, exercise, errands, everything, because I need it. I'm like absent-minded professor. I need the help. We're just running a light version of it today, but I think you'll see its potential. Are you ready to start ordering your day? Absolutely. What's the matter, baby? Cheetah bump. Cheetah bump. Cheetah bump. Excellent. We'll keep this lean because your day is short. First, I'll look for the relevant Notion daily log context. Then we'll choose only what matters for tonight. So she's gone to Notion. She's looked at the stuff from yesterday. And remember, yesterday I said, oh, I had enough. Well, I just was making up stuff. I said, oh, I got enough for 3 videos. So notice what she's pulled in here. Yesterday you planned one 60-second video, but the filming block produced 3 usable videos. You posted 1 and intentionally held 2 for later this week. The push forward item is post the 2 additional videos later this week. So she's remembered that thing from yesterday, not because ChatGPT remembered it, but because we kept a log in Notion and we've given her instructions to check that log. So we've essentially given her some long-term memory about specific things. ChatGPT memory is good about sort of general things, but if you want to have her remember specific things like appointments you have or work that didn't get done or work that needs to be done or errands that need to be run, then all of that stuff needs to go into some sort of long-term memory. OpenClaw and Hermes solve this by having memory file system local on the hard drive. We've solved this here by using this Notion database. If you're not using Notion, if you're using Asana or one of these other things, you can find some other way to do it. But essentially, that's all we're doing. We're just writing the notes down in a place that we both can see it. We being me and Beatrice. Okay, since you've already named the main obstacle, short day, nearly bedtime, still work to do, we'll keep it very narrow. First choice, maker. What's one thing you'll create or improve today? I'll film the live stream of the Beatrice System day 2. Good, that's the central active provision today. Make the system visible, not theoretical. Next, manager. So we see we got maker and now manager. What's one thing you'll handle with clarity today? Well, that's good. I need to look at some bills that need paying. Some admin stuff, right? You're not going to watch me do all this, by the way. I'm making up these answers so we can get through the system. Good, that's the clarity and peace task. Not solving the entire financial picture tonight, but just making sure the next needed bill action visible. Next, marketer. So now we've got maker, manager, and marketer. So the maker marketer thing, or maybe it was maker manager. One of these came from somebody, Paul, somebody, I can't remember his name now. And then I found an author website where a lady kind of added the third one on and made it maker, manager, marketer, all 3. And I like that. And so I decided to adopt that because if I can get 1 or 2 for each of those 3 things, that's a full day generally. So if I can just get 1 big thing in each of those and then like 1 big thing done at home, I'm going to have other little small, chore things that need to be done or other little small errands to run or other little emails or phone calls to return, that kind of stuff. But if I can get those 3 big things done and the 1 big thing done at home, that's usually going to be a nice day. If I can get 2 maker things done and 2 marketer things done, 1 manager thing done and 1 or 2 chores at home done, that's an awesome full day. So this just helps me very quickly understand a quick structure to my day, and you're going to see that same structure in the itinerary that it's going to put together. All right, so marketer, what's one thing you'll communicate or share today? I'll share about these live streams on social. Okay. Good. That make the thing, then tell people the thing exists. Very tidy. Very unlike a junk drawer, which I mentioned only because junk drawers also believe they're systems. I think this is supposed to be a joke because we said yesterday in the assistant personality that I wanted her to be a little bit like Rose Nyland from the Golden Girls, just for fun, just to see what she'd do. And I think that was what that was intended to be. All right, what's one simple chore in one room you can do today? Change the sheets on the bed, which I've already done, but change the sheets, careful, sheets on the bed. All right. Good. That's a wise little end of day chore. It serves tonight's rest, not just the room. Next, what are your meal plans for the rest of the day? Let's pretend this is earlier in the day. I'll be having dinner around 6 p.m. Just at home, a sandwich and some carrots. Already had breakfast, drinking water for the rest of the day. So we'll just make up a little information here. That's a simple, sane dinner plan for a short day. I have a dog that's decided this would be a good time to lick everything. That's a simple, sane dinner plan for a short day. Sandwich, carrots, no culinary fireworks. Okay, here's what I'm hearing. You're becoming a man of provision, spiritually, creatively, financially, and relationally. Tonight's plan reflects that in a compact form. Create the day 2 live stream. Communicate that the live stream exists. Look clearly at bills and prepare your bed for rest. Daily anchor, visible faithfulness. So at the end of daily work visioning, not only does she sort of sum up what you intend to do, but she's going to give you like a little anchor for the day, something that you can kind of return to. So if you kind of get scattered, you can just say, hey, today is about visible faithfulness, right? So I'm not trying to change the world today. I'm not trying to get XYZ thing done today. I just want visible faithfulness. I just want to do something that people can look at, and I'm being sort of consistent in what I'm trying to do in some way, and it's visible to others in some way. So I've got that daily anchor now I can hold on to for the rest of the day. Visible faithfulness. Not heroic, not frantic, just visible faithfulness. Put the work where people can see it, handle the next responsibility, and then receive sleep as part of the work. Are you ready to build tonight's itinerary? Yes. And for the first time in my life, I am now watching ChatGPT know what time it is. I've never seen ChatGPT know what time it is. Now, to be fair, I haven't been directly using ChatGPT in the browser in a while because I use my OpenClaw system, and I use ChatGPT as the brain in OpenClaw. So I'm using the browser less and less. I used to use it, all day long, all the time. Now I use my OpenClaw all day long, all the time. But that's a good thing to know that it now knows what time it is. That's going to help you with your itinerary. So we can't fool it into thinking that it's earlier in the day. Let's see what it says here. Okay, 8:37 p.m. So this is officially a night landing plan, not a full work day. 8:40 to 8:50, set up transition, open whatever you need for the live stream, get water nearby. 8:50 to 9:30, maker block, film the live stream. 9:30, which that's probably going to be about right. 9:30 to 9:40, short reset. So it's adding little breaks in there for me between tasks. 9:40 to 9:55, marketer block, share the live streams. It gives me a goal, it gives me a suggested win for each of these task blocks. Manager block gives me a home block, gives me a close out the day, and a bedtime runway. Now, because it's detected that this is a short day, it's not really going through the whole thing that you would go through in a day. It skipped the midday reset. So I'm just going to nudge her back into that. I would like to make sure we do all the light modules, including the midday reset, the work blocks can all be 10 minutes long. And this, by the way, is how you edit your itinerary. She gives you an itinerary, and then you say whatever you want to change, and she changes it for you. All right, so now here we have the revised working itinerary. And we've got the work block opening. We've got our maker block. We've got our midday reset. We've got another work block opening because we're going to do that before every work block. It's not going to take 5 minutes. It really just takes 1 or 2 minutes. And then we've got block at home, then close out the day light. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. And so yeah, that's just fine. Yes, sure. So now we're going to go to Notion. And we're going to go to our staff meeting and daily log. If I can get my computer to not be freaking out. Oh, looks like I need to reconnect. Oh, maybe not. Dadgummit. All right, need to update the content. So I'll choose update content. I'll go back here. I think it's lost. I think it's lost the window is the problem. Application capture. Let's actually just do window capture. Window, Notion, staff meeting and daily logs. All right. So now you see in Notion, here she's added that working itinerary to our Notion log. And so at any point during the day, you can open your phone and you can go to Tuesday and you can look at it. Like I said yesterday, I like for these to be toggle headings so you can organize them however you want. But if you make, your Monday daily log a toggle heading, then you can close Monday. She can still read it. She doesn't have to open it to read it. And that just gives you some organization here. I'm actually going to not make this a toggle heading. She has trouble with ChatGPT. The Notion app has trouble with toggle headings for some reason. So until we get these last 4 for the day, I think I'm going to not make problems for her. But this will make it easy for us to see. We can quickly go down to our working itinerary. So we've got that always there to refer to. We can have that just open on our desktop somewhere, or we can look at it on the Notion app on the phone or iPad or whatever. Okay, very cool. So we'll just turn Notion off now. Go back to ChatGPT. Perfect. I'll log this revised, tiny but complete itinerary into today's daily log. Then we'll immediately begin the first work block opening. So again, just see what she's done. She's taken everything that we want to do. She's put it into a work block. She's figured a time. Of course, for this, I told her just make them all 10 minutes. But what she will normally do is she will look at sort of your basic work day, and she will do your work blocks in 25-minute blocks, 45-minute blocks, or like a 1-hour block that's like 2 25-minute blocks with a break in the middle. And if you have more than one maker thing to do in a day, or more than one marketer thing to do in a day, then she'll do a block for each separate item. Hey, can I help you? Do you need something? Great, as if you just lie down. Can you lie down, please? No? Okay, thank you for licking me after licking everything else that you've licked today. All right, so are you ready to dive in? Your itinerary has been written in Notion. Are you ready to dive in? The answer is yes. So the first thing that it's going to do is it's going to begin the day with a work block opening for that first block. And on mine, it's actually called work block benediction. But a benediction can be part of it, but of course you can take the prayer component out. Anchor, visible faithfulness. That's the thing that we're going to remember for the rest of the day. Visible faithfulness. The first block is a maker block. Film or begin filming the day 2 live stream for the Beatrice system. The point is not to make it flawless. The point is to make the system visible. Before you begin, what would a win look like for this 10-minute live stream block? Live streaming and demoing day 2. So that's the other thing the work block opening does is it asks you, what does a win look like for this block? That gives you an understanding of the work that you're about to get into. Because sometimes you get into work and you don't really know what you're doing, right? So I sat down with a friend of mine, and his first block that he was going to do was, well, I've got to make some calls. I was like, okay, what's a win look like? And he's like, oh, well, I guess these are people that might be clients. So I guess it would be just sort of pushing things down the road, like one more step. Okay, but what does that mean? What's that one step? Well, I've got some that I need to make a commitment, and I've got some that need to do. And so the more he was able to answer, what does a win look like, the more he understood the exact work that he needed to do before he entered that block. That's what the work block opening is attempting to do for you. Then it gives you this benediction. Perfect, that's the win. Anchor, visible faithfulness. This is a maker block. You can pray over the work before you begin. Lord, give me a clear mind, a steady voice, and the courage to let the work be seen. Notice how that little prayer is crafted specifically around what we're doing in this little block. I think that's kind of neat. You may hate that. That's fine. You can change it, but I kind of like it. For this tiny block, use one clean 10-minute sprint. Start by opening the live stream, naming that thing you're demoing day 2, and beginning the rhythm. Go live stream and demo day 2. When the block is complete, come back and tell me done. I've tried to communicate in her instructions not to help you do the work, not to tell you how to do your work, but Got a sneeze on deck. Now, if it's work that you need help from ChatGPT with, leave this chat and go to just a regular ChatGPT chat and just use ChatGPT as normal. Come back to this chat for your itinerary stuff, for your daily rhythm stuff. Otherwise, the chat will get really full, and you have a thing called a context window, and it's pretty large with ChatGPT, especially if you've got Plus or Pro. But what happens is, as the context window fills up, the stuff at the top starts getting cut off. Well, stuff at the top here is your main instructions for what to do all day long. It's the project instructions, right? So you want to be sure not to cut that off if possible. So you don't want to fill this chat up. If you've ever been using a chat for a long time and she starts to get really dumb and can't follow instructions and forgets things, that's because your context window has filled up. That's why she's forgotten all those things. Okay. So we've done the little benediction, go live stream, come back till we're done. Okay, we're done with the live stream. So we'll say done. We're going to blaze through this day. Good, that's the first real win. You made day 2 visible. Midday is a great time for our reset. So now we're going to do the midday reset module, okay? Not just to stand or stretch. Hopefully you're doing some of that throughout the day, but also to check in on email, clear your social notifications, make a phone call or two. By having a set time to do those things, it relieves the urge to do them in the meat of your day when your energy and focus are at their best and should be devoted to the real work. You could spend all day going through your email, but what would get moved forward? If you feel the urge to scroll, knowing you have a little time just for that will help curb that urge. The midday reset doesn't just give you a little boost in the center of your itinerary, it actually relieves pressure from your entire day. So, are you ready to reset? Absolutely. Excellent. We'll do a compact evening version reset. First maintenance step, take 2 minutes to clear any obvious social media notifications, just the ones that might pull at your attention later. No scrolling, no exploring, no while I'm here, just clear your notifications. When that's done, come back and say done. We'll say done. Good. Next maintenance step, take 2 minutes, do a quick email message glance. Only look for anything urgent or anything that would nag at you during the next block. When done, come back and say done. I actually do have some text messages that I would like to look at because it's like my family. I don't think it's anything serious, but I just would like to check. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to refill my water, and I'm going to play for you the trailer for The Darkness Rolled Over Her, which is my feature film, which is almost done. And you can read the ebook for free right now at 5coffeesinabook.com. You can get the ebook for free. There's a discussion guide, the 5 Coffees in a Book discussion guide. It deals with someone who's decided to take their own life and the personal relationships that come into her life that challenge that decision. It's about hope and fly fishing. And here's the trailer, and I'll be back in about 2 minutes.
God, kill me. I want to die. And Gwen, you're with Mr. Roy.
Hello again.
Hi.
Roy Miller. Nice to make your acquaintance, Gwen Donnelly. Fish, they like facing upstream. Fish is always facing upstream looking for something. So I'm gonna give them something. Ah, we forgot it. I suppose it's none of my business, but are you getting the help you need?
When we were getting on that bus, I saw this look in your eyes, and I thought, that's exactly how I feel.
All right, so that is the trailer for The Darkness Rolled Over Her. Coming soon, Lord willing. I'm also going to eat mandarin orange while we continue this. I'm like insanely thirsty today for some reason. And I would like to have just a little bit of glucose while I sleep. So hopefully I don't wake up at 2:30 in the morning again like I did. Or if I had, but I figured this would be less annoying for you to listen to. Okay. Didn't get through all my text messages, but that's okay. I got my water. I almost say done. Next maintenance step, take 1 minute, close or clear any obvious browser tabs that are not needed for the rest of tonight's tiny itinerary. So at this point, I'll usually just go to Safari, which I'm in right now, but I'll open up another. You know, you always have a bunch of tabs that have been open for 3 months. You're obviously not going to use them. I take this opportunity, you know, even just to go on my phone. And you can tap on all tabs, so you see them as tiles like this. And then you could just go through and, you know, tap one at a time. I don't need that one. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that there. I don't need that. I don't need that. There's a lot of things I don't need. But there are some things in here that I would like to see again. Anyway, you get it. That's how it works. Okay, we'll call it done. Good, the little loose ends have been swept to the side. Now the wellness check. What's your energy like now? 1 to 10. I took some sleep supplements, like some magnesium, before I started this. But other than that, I feel pretty good. I might be at a 7 now. That's up from 6.5. Good, a little higher than before, she remembered. That suggests the live stream gave you some momentum rather than taking it all. Next, does anything feel unfinished from the morning or first work block? No. Even though I'm still live streaming, but what does she know? Good, clean start, no residue. Next, wellness question. Is there anything you want to adjust for the rest of tonight's schedule? No. We're on track, schedule's looking good. If I did make some adjustments here, that would show up in the adjustments made part of the daily log in Notion. Good, no adjustments. We'll keep this little train on its track. Would you like to do a brief prayerful reset before we return to the next block? Yeah, I would. Yes, please. That would be nice. Here's one little tip for you. The way these LLMs work is they are trained based on the likelihood of letters following each other, essentially. Okay, so it's not just the likelihood of a letter to appear, but the likelihood that it's going to be the next letter after the sort of previous series of letters. I'm not sure how deeply all these models go. But the more specific you are with your prompt, in some ways, sometimes you can be like too specific, but the more specific you are in some ways with your prompt, sometimes the better an answer that you'll get. For instance, if you just said, "What is a bank?" Well, it doesn't know if you mean a bank as in a place where people keep their money, or like the bank of a river, right? But if you asked it explicitly, write a poem about a riverbank, it's not going to write about a financial institution, because by saying poem, river, bank, then it's going to push into the river and poetic language, probability section of the model when it's spitting everything out. It's not thinking. It's not. It's just all probability and numbers and math. So the way you talk in your chat, that's an input. That's an input that goes into the model. Essentially, it's going to pick up where your input leaves off and go from there. So if your input is vague, then you're just kind of dumping it out anywhere in the model. But if your input is more specific, it's going to send it into a more specific part of the model that is more likely going to answer your question. If you ask generally about rockets, it's going to give you it's going to give you a 7th grade science information, about rockets. If you ask specifically about, the development of the SpaceX rockets on the Starship, version 1, 2, and 3, it's going to give you a lot of very detailed information. And if you use some specific technical language in your question, it's going to give you a really specific technical answer, because you will have used language that pushes it into the really technical part of the model. I say all that to say, when you reply, if you just say yes, no, if you just do short answers, that's kind of like giving vague responses. So right here, instead of just saying yes, I want a prayer, I'm saying yes, please, that would be nice. Because you don't find that language in a newspaper. You don't find that language in a textbook. You don't find that language in Shakespeare. Yes, please, that would be nice is dialogue. It's human conversation. And so when your input is styled as human conversation, when you say please and thank you, it's going to essentially push you into a part of the language model that is going to give you output that is also going to sound more conversational as well. It's not mimicking you. It's just you're sort of directed into that part of the model by the way that you're speaking, by the words that you're using, especially if you use words like please. You don't see the word please in a technical manual, right? Well, close your eyes for one deep breath. Let the live stream energy settle without disappearing. Now answer quietly to yourself, or free write 1 or 2 sentences in your prayer journal. Where have I felt peace today? You can answer here or simply say done. It's a great question. It's a good reset question. I'm thinking about some times that I felt peace today, but now I'm just going to say done. And I've got three more wedges of this orange here. Now ask yourself quietly, or free write 1 or 2 sentences, where have I felt strain today? I know that too, but we're just going to say done. Good. Now pray this quietly, or use it as a starting point in your own words. Lord, realign my heart with yours, restore focus and gratitude. Midday reset is complete. Next up, work block opening for the maker block, then a 10-minute sharing block. Remember the anchor, visible faithfulness. Are you ready to begin the next work? Man, lights are going out. There we go. Yes, I'm ready! Exclamation point. Not a lot of exclamation points in technical abstracts. If you want it to talk to you like a technical abstract, then go for it. But just saying. Good. Before this next block, quick check from the previous one. You said a win would be live streaming and demoing day 2, and you did it. That's complete. Now the next block is a marketer block. Share that the live streams exist. What would a win look like for this 10-minute sharing block? We're going to say Insta Story, TikTok, a quick video X post. Let's do it. 3 things. Super fast. Good. That's concrete and contain Instagram story, TikTok quick video, X post, visible faithfulness. This is a marketer block. You can pray over the work before you begin. Lord, help me communicate clearly and simply without overthinking who sees it. Use one clean 10-minute sprint. The first step is simple. Open Instagram, make the story post. When the block is complete, come back and say done. We do the work and done. Amazing. We're just blowing through our work tonight. Excellent. Marketer block complete. You said the win was Instagram story, TikTok quick video, X post, and you did it. When I'm actually going through this process, when I come back, I will usually say exactly what I did, because usually what I set out to do is not what actually gets done. Either the work drifts, or I find that what I wanted to work on isn't ready, or whatever. There's always something, right? And so I will come back and say, okay, I got into it, and here's what happened, and anyway, this is what I ended up with. And that'll go into the adjustments made, and that'll be commented on in the observation section at the end of the day. Next up is the manager block, bills check. What would a win look like for this 10-minute bills block? Finding all outstanding bills in my mail and paying them. Good, that's the bigger win than the original look at bills. So let's keep it contained inside the 10-minute shape. When find outstanding bills in mail and pay the ones you can safely pay tonight. Anchor, visible faithfulness. It's constantly reminding you of that throughout the day. It's all. I'm not here to, get out of debt completely tonight. Just visible faithfulness. Here's a receipt. I paid a bill on time. Visible faithfulness, right? This is a minute block. You can pray over this. You can pray over the work before you begin. Lord, help me face what needs attention with calm, clarity, and wisdom. Use one clean 10-minute sprint. Start by opening mail and searching for likely bill items, due, invoice, payment statement, past due. When the block is complete, come back and say done. We go, we pay all the bills, and we say done. Not throwing her a lot of curveballs tonight, just because I just want you to see the shape of the system here. Good. Manager block complete. You aim to find outstanding bills in mail and pay them. That's a strong piece of provision work for a 10-minute block. Not glamorous, but very real. By the way, you see already on a normal day here, we've already gone through like 3 hours worth of work. So I don't know how long I've been live streaming for, 30 minutes or something like that, right? And in that 30 minutes, we've done mindset elevation, we've planned the entire day, and we've done these sort of benedictions for these different work blocks. We're not doing the actual work, but let's say each of these work blocks was an hour. Well, we might be 3 hours into our day at this point. And so you can see how little of your day is actually taken up by this organization, but also how much it contributes to your day. It's worth it to spend 1 hour of your day, doing this system. It's not going to take an hour away from you. I think you'll find it gives you 2 or 3 more hours, productive hours of work. I think is what you'll find. I think. If nothing else, it'll give you peace about the things that you don't get done. If you have all this stuff that you want to get done in a day, and then you go to do your itinerary and you've got 3 meetings in the day, but you had like these 10 things that you want to do, it's not happening. But when you go to put your itinerary together, you see there's no way that all this can be done. So I just need to free myself of trying to do all 10 of these things. I'll pick the 2 that I can do during the times that I'm not in a meeting. I have to do these meetings. There's no way of getting out of that. And that's my day, and that's my job, and that's okay. And it'll give you a lot of peace, and you won't go to bed feeling like the day was undone because you didn't get all 10 of those things done, right? Okay. This one is not maker, manager, marketer exactly, but it belongs to the same life. Provision includes preparing a place to rest. Use one 10-minute sprint. Start by stripping the bed. When the block is complete, come back and say done. Done. We've changed the sheets on the bed now. Good. Home block complete. That matters more than it seems. You ended the work by making rest easier to receive. When you finish the last work block on your itinerary or all you can do today, we're not done just yet. So here we are. We're at the whole end of the day. So again, this is a light version of the process, but you can see the entire process has taken like 45 minutes. And that's with me explaining things, along the way. Once you get used to it, you'll be able to bang right through it. One of the beauties of our system is the daily and weekly logging. Let me start over where you can see my face. One of the beauties of our system is the daily and weekly logging. Not only do we log what you plan to do, but we also take note of how that changes throughout the day. Then here, at the end of the workday, we assess. We make some observations, enjoy our successes, and make sure anything left undone doesn't get forgotten. I will do a lot of that work for you, including writing it into Notion, but you'll have the opportunity to read and review my assessment and suggest any changes before we commit it to the log. Keeping this log allows both you and I to look back at previous days. We may notice patterns, both helpful and burdensome, in work or mindset or energy. We may see the same things being pushed off to the next day, often. The biggest benefit might simply be allowing yourself to take a moment and celebrate the work done. So often we begin a project, get 1% done, and at the end of the day can only see the 99% left to do. This can make you feel like you didn't accomplish anything, possibly even wasted the day. Seeing your work broken down into time blocks in the itinerary and then captured in the logs allows you to see the real progress. So let's close out our day now if you are ready. I'm ready. Good, let's close it gently and honestly. First end of day question, did you create? So this close out the day process is going to walk you through a series of questions, and they're just going to require some little short answers. It's not really going to log the answers. I mean, it might log some of them, but basically this is your chance to sort of post-process the day. It's also a ritual. It's a ritual that allows your brain to say, the day is over. After this, I don't need to worry about any of that stuff anymore. Now this is my personal time, my family time. The work day is over. Did you create? Yes, I live streamed today. Yes, you did. That is the clearest answer. You created by live streaming day 2. Next question. When did you feel most energized today? After breakfast, working with Aaron and talking about various. It'd be awesome if I could spell various projects. That makes sense. There was relational energy there. Breakfast, collaboration, live project talk. Aaron in the room instead of the work only living in your head. Next question. What gave you energy today? Midday nap. 100% took a huge nap because I didn't sleep well last night, and it was awesome. Good. A midday nap gave you recovery, and today it seems to have worked because your energy rose from 6.5 to 7 after the live stream and reset. It doesn't know that I had a whole day before I started this, but whatever. What drained your energy today? Sleep debt, worry about money, family, and love. Little puppy love worries. That's a heavy cluster. Sleep debt, money, family, and love. None of those are small things, and carrying all 4 in the same day would drain almost anybody. Thanks, buddy. Next question. Did you have help today or wish you did? How did it go and how might it have gone differently? The purpose behind this question is to gradually catalog over time places in which you could use help. So some observation it might make is, hey, can you get an editor to do all this editing that you hate doing? Every day you say you wish you'd had help editing. Can you get somebody to edit for you? Can you afford to pay somebody, or can you find someone to volunteer or intern for you? Maybe something like, something about, doing yard work. And it might suggest that same thing. Hey, is that something that you can pay somebody else to do? Things like that. So this is a question to kind of help you post-process the day, but it is something that over time, hopefully she will pick up on and be able to suggest things about in that observation section. Did you have help today or wish you did? In fact, when we start doing weekly planning, you'll see this under resource factors. And so some of the resources it considers are, labor that you have, the space that you're in. So if you have a computer that's constantly breaking, or a printer that doesn't work, or your camera, missing something, as you sort of complain about that, it picks up on that as a resource thing that needs to be fixed in the following week, that sort of stuff. So that's sort of the nature of this, the spirit of this question. I did not. I would love to have had help editing some video stuff. If I'd had that help, I could have spent more time creating while the edits were being done, and I'd have more content for social. I wasn't doing any editing today, just making up an answer that might be something I would put in. That's a very useful observation. Did you have any relational project energy with Aaron earlier? Oh, you did have relational project energy with Aaron earlier, but on the production side, you were still mostly carrying the editing load alone. I'll note that as you wished for video editing help. Having it would help you. Having it would have let you stay in creation mode while edits moved forward in parallel. Next question. Overall, what went well? I accomplished my work blocks for tonight. We've mostly done. Certainly in the pretend day that I'm having here, we did it excellently. No mistakes. That's a good plain win. The blocks were small, but they actually happened. Next question. Where did you get stuck? Afternoon dip hit hard, so I had to nap and lost time due to that. That's a fair read of the day. The nap helped, but it also compressed the runway. So the stuck point wasn't laziness, it was energy debt turning into schedule pressure. Next question, did anything break? By the way, see what it just did? It didn't shame me for taking a nap or whatever, but it said, hey, you had this sleep debt, and that caused an energy problem during the day. The energy problem itself isn't the problem, but in order to fix the energy problem, you had to take a sleep, and then now you ran out of time to do work. And so it's not really making a judgment about it. It's just sort of telling me what happened. It's just telling me what I just told it back in a different set of words. But just sort of seeing it that way suddenly makes me like, oh, yeah. So, I needed the nap, but it just gave me less time to do work today. That was the trade-off that I made. And I'm probably going to have to make it tomorrow if I don't go to bed soon. But we're almost done. Did anything break, not work right, or frustrate you today? No. I think everything's pretty good. Good. Nothing broke. That's mercy all by itself. Next question. What did you learn from what didn't go well? Sleep is the most important thing for me to work on right now. I eat pretty well. I haven't been exercising much lately, but when I exercise, I do hot yoga. I'm not in great shape, but I'm not in bad shape, My biggest thing right now is I gotta get sleep. And even when I go to bed on time, sometimes I just wake up at 2:30 in the morning and can't sleep. It's killing me. I don't know what to do about it, but sleep is the most important thing for me to work on right now. I do find when I go through this process, it helps me, especially if I get all the way to the end of the day, it helps me turn my brain off, go right to sleep. All the story loops for the day are closed, so I'm not waking up, oh, I forgot to finish. There's none of that, That feels like the day's clearest lesson. Sleep is not a side quest right now. Sleep is the foundation block. Noted honestly, when sleep debt is high, even a good day gets compressed, and everything else, money, worries, family concerns, love, creative pressure, gets heavier. It's true. Next question. What are you most thankful for today? Mom's successful surgery. It just went really great. It's just textbook and beyond. They found another small thing in there that she didn't even know that she had, and so he repaired it while they were in there. She was in there for like an hour and a half. It's outpatient. She was up walking around. It's great. Yes, that's the day's deepest gratitude, your mom's successful surgery. Now we'll handle incomplete tasks so tomorrow doesn't inherit fog. Now remember, before we read the rest of this, I finished, supposedly, everything that I wanted to do today, but I still have those unfinished things from Monday, those 2 imaginary social videos that I haven't posted. So let's see what it says here. Here's what I see as possibly unfinished or pushed forward. Number 1, 2 additional videos from yesterday still need to be posted later this week. She's remembered that because we have it in the log. Number 2, Bill's follow-up. Depending on what you found tonight, there may be anything unpaid or needing attention tomorrow. So just more bill stuff. Possible future support need. Already she's picked up on that, and is saying, hey, we got to find some help here. First item for the 2 additional videos from yesterday. What should we do? Cancel, move to tomorrow, or move later? Let's just say move to tomorrow. Let's try this. We'll do 1 tomorrow and 1 Thursday. Let's see what she does with that. Good. We'll disposition that clearly. Post 1 Wednesday, 1 Thursday. Next item for Bill's follow-up. Did you get everything paid tonight? Or is there anything that needs to move forward? Cancel, move to tomorrow, or move later. Everything paid. I'll check back in a week. Good. Bills are complete tonight with a sensible check-in next week. Next item for the editing help video support idea. What should we do with it? Cancel, move to tomorrow, or move later. Cancel for now. Good. We'll cancel the editing help idea for now, not because it's unimportant, but because tonight's system needs clean edges. Here's the draft for today's daily log. Adjustments made. Shifted from a full day rhythm into a compact evening version because the day was short and bedtime was approaching. Revised the itinerary to include all day 2 light modules, including the midday reset, with short 10-minute work blocks. Treated the midday reset as a middle of itinerary reset, even though it happened in the evening. Bill's follow-up was completed tonight rather than pushed forward. Observations. Your clearest identity phrase today was a man of provision. Your daily anchor was visible faithfulness. You had meaningful relational project energy after breakfast while working with Aaron and talking through projects. Now, how did she know that? Because I told her, okay? So she's not reading minds or anything like that. I told her that. But there's something about her asking the question, me just answering what she asked, and then her repeating it back to me here. It's almost like, I mean, I knew this, but when you read it, it just makes it real somehow. At least that's the way I felt using this system. So when she says you had meaningful relational project energy after breakfast while working with Aaron and talking through projects, immediately that jumps out at me as I get energy from discussing creative stuff with other high-level creative people like Aaron. And I don't get to do that very often. So that's something already that I'm thinking about, right? Sleep debt was the major constraint. It contributed to an afternoon dip, required a nap, and compressed the evening runway. The nap helped restore energy. You reported moving from 6.5 earlier to 7 during the reset. Worries about money, family, and love were emotionally draining today. The system worked well in miniature. Small blocks helped you complete real work without needing a perfect schedule. You wished for video editing help, but chose to cancel that as an active task for now. That's a great summary of everything we talked about today. Wins. Mom had a successful surgery. You live streamed and demoed day 2. You shared the live streams. You found and paid bills. You changed the sheets. You completed the full day 2 rhythm in compressed form. And it lists all the modules that we used today. Pushed forward. Post 1 save video tomorrow, Wednesday, May 27th. Post 1 save video Thursday, May 28th. Check bills again in 1 week. Does this look right, or would you like to change anything before I write it into Notion? Looks amazing. Thank you. And so now we're going to turn Notion back on, maybe. Oh, first I have to approve the updated Notion content. Beautiful. I'll commit that closeout to the log. I clicked update content. And now we'll watch as, there it is, adjustments made, observations, wins. You saw it pop right in there. And there it is, all there. Very cool. And so now I'm going to make that a toggle heading so that I can close that up and it's hidden for tomorrow. Pretty cool. So I'll go back to Chat GPT in Safari. All right, logged in Tuesday's daily log. Before we look toward tomorrow, would you like a short prayerful close for the day? Yeah. Yes. Let's do that, please. Take one slow breath. Let your shoulders drop. Pray quietly to yourself or free write 2 to 3 lines in your prayer journal. Lord, what gave me joy today? What do I release to you tonight? Always good things to think about at the end of the day. Once again, this is just giving us a routine, a ritual that tells our brain the day is done. You can let go of everything. Private notes are fine. When you're done, just say done. We'll say we've journaled that and say done. Good. I'll do the brief glance now. It's enough to give the day somewhere to land, not enough to start planning again. So it's going to look at my calendar. So you see it's talk to Google Calendar. I have my Google Calendar connected. So it's looking at my Google Calendar to see what events that I have for tomorrow. It's got the itinerary items that we're pushing forward for tomorrow. And so here's what it's got. Looking ahead to tomorrow, Wednesday, May 27th, you have no events showing in your primary Google Calendar for tomorrow. That's true. So the day appears open from here. The main push forward item is simple. Post one save video tomorrow, then save the other for Thursday. Bills are paid and with a check-in next week. For tomorrow, the honest adjustment is sleep. Tonight, protect the runway. The clearest lesson from today was that sleep debt turns into schedule pressure, worry amplification, and creative compression. A good night of sleep is not quitting early. It's laying tomorrow's foundation. This is I didn't really ask for, but it's something that she's picked up on as being important, and so she's hammering it home here. Before we shift out of work mode, what's on your mind or heart before we wind down? Really thankful to have a system that helps me see my habits, what's working, and what needs improving. And she's thinking, she's thinking, she's thinking. That's exactly the gift of the log. Not judgment, not you did enough, didn't do enough, just sight. Remember the whole Beatrice system. See, order, ascend. See things, put them in order, and over time, your mindset, your work ethic, your productivity all goes up. Today, it helped you see a few true things. Collaboration gives you energy. Sleep debt costs you more than time. Small blocks still count, and visible faithfulness is a real kind of progress. One final tiny shift from work suggestion. Take 60 seconds to clear any cups, wrappers, loose items from your workspace so that tomorrow doesn't inherit tonight's crumbs, literal or otherwise. I've got my mandarin orange peel here and my water. I'm still outrageously thirsty. I'm really going to regret that about 2 o'clock this morning. When that's done, say done. We'll just say done. I'll throw this away on the way into the kitchen. Okay, today we went through a condensed version of the full system. Morning vision, daily work visioning, work block openings, a midday reset, short work blocks, and a closeout log, or the close out the day. And even in miniature, it did what it's supposed to do. It helped you see the day clearly, do the next faithful thing, and notice what your habits are teaching you. On day 3, switch to the next day's instructions. 3 steps. We will replace the project instructions again. We'll add something to our sources, and then we'll start a new chat. You showed up today. That's the whole point. Thank you for a good workday, Skidmore. Rest well, enjoy those fresh sheets, and let tomorrow receive a man a little more ordered than he was today. So that's it for Beatrice Initiation Week Day 2. I hope you can start to see now what the process kind of looks like. We're going to flesh it out as the week goes on, and it'll be next week before we experience the full system. But I'm hoping that you can see how it works, how it can benefit you, how it can help you get things ordered, how it helps lift your mindset, and how it helps you envision the person that you're becoming and work that you want to do and the life that you want to live. And you can see that more and more clearly every day. And by seeing that more and more clearly every day, by thinking about that, you'll be able to notice when those things are happening around you. You'll be able to sort of increase your surface area for luck and opportunity. And I don't know, I just think things are going to go much better for you now that you're on this journey. So thank you for watching. I hope this has been worth your time. And thanks for following along. If you have any questions about Beatrice, leave it in the comments below. You can get the Beatrice System at thebeatricesystem.com. She's $19 right now. Introductory price will be going up to $99 soon. So go ahead and be an early adopter. pick up version 1.1. Version 1.2 will be out soon. After I get through this initiation week, I'm going to go through and take note of all the things that I would like to change. Only a couple things today, so that was good. And yeah, I'm excited to do day 3 tomorrow. Tomorrow is very special. We're going to do something really cool called the Legacy Vision, and you don't want to miss that. That's going to be something very important for your life, I promise. So come back tomorrow, and thanks for being with me. And we'll see you tomorrow for day 3.